So, hello, beautiful, amazing tribe, and welcome to Magic Month of August. I am really excited to say that this month's pretty good. This month's nice. It's got lots of juicy, wonderful, prominent astrology in it. And if you don't know me, my name is Karila from Starlight Temple, and Starlight does courses and ceremonies and land tantra, sacred site travel, and all of those things are dedicated to the ascension of the earth and how we can become our own ascension. And those of you that are regulars to Magic Month will know that this year is a particularly important year in our ascension process. Certainly from an astrological point of view, this year and next year are the most important. It's really exciting to be at this month 8 point in this year, because it's when everything is actually beginning to actualize and materialize. And yeah, it's very, 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 very exciting. And so welcome to Magic Month, which is an energy forecast, and it gives you astrology and channeled guidance and seasonal insights and all sorts of things so that you can know the best times to manifest, the best times to heal, understand the currents that are coursing through you, and make the most of them, ride them, fly upon them. And so that is Magic Month. And like I said, August is very, very exciting. So let's get into the forecast for August by doing a meditation. So when you're ready, closing your eyes. And breathing in love. And breathing out gratitude. Breathing in love. And breathing out gratitude. And as you allow your breath to be a rise of love and a falling into gratitude, take a moment to remember the last time that you looked up at the stars. And allow yourself to fully return into this memory, remembering what land you were on, remembering the way the night sky smelled, noticing the canopy of stars above you, and connecting to those feelings of awe and wonder that we as humans feel when we look at the starry sky. And as you look up, into the skies that guided your ancestors here, into the sky that is lighting the past and the present and the future. Into the mystery, marveling at the beauty. Become aware that this is how the stars feel. And they look at the rivers of human heart light. That are creating tributaries of love and patterns on all of the land. And know that this is what the stars feel when they look at us. They feel the same awe and wonder and mystery. And they marvel at your beauty. And as you become aware of yourself, wondering at the stars, and the stars wondering back at you. Know that this awareness belongs to the age of reflection. Which is what happens after the age of separation. And know that it is your ability to perceive the stars, beholding the river of hearts. That means that you have entered into the age of reflection. And the end of July and the whole of August and the beginning of September is that entrance. that consciousness will only move forward from. And whilst there are many, many, many spirits and soul, star, family, and beings of love and light who are honoring the fact that they can witness this, you are living this. You are living this. And your living it is the shaping of the new earth. And with this in mind, and in heart and in body, open up sensationally to the energy of August 25. Noticing how it is intuitively making you feel. What is it causing in your inner system? What is this month's energy inviting you to play with? And you breathe in love. And you breathe out gratitude. Breathe in love and breathe out gratitude. And when you're ready, opening your eyes, coming into the space. And sharing, how do we feel about August? What is the energy showing us? And for those of you that are new to Magic Month, if you're live, I love it to be co-creative. So please do share deep alignment, new embodiment with lightness. Yeah. Yeah, there is a lot in July. Yeah. Expanding, expansive. It's quite golden. To me, it's quite golden. Feels like an important month. And this, nothing this year is for the faint of heart. Like, this is the year where you're going to change whether you want to or not. And the best thing is to go with the flow and not resist, but submit. And there's, these high energies, these golden energies, these expansive energies. Really, the art, as far as I can tell, is about learning how to surrender to them, how to allow them to make us, and to let go of anything that isn't the divine current that wants to carry us. into these energies, into these states. And there will be, because September is the eclipse window, and you know, the eclipse window is the like bookend of the eclipse window that happened in March, where so much planetary acceleration and change and everything has happened. And so this is where it starts to integrate and embody. And so because of the eclipse window, there's going to be stirrings of change and transformation and final things that need to come up. And it's like we're getting ready for that eclipse window that does feel like everything comes together, you know. And yet there's also this invitation in August. It's fairly spacious astrologically. Well, it's well paced. And it really is like, dream bigger, think bigger, call your soul into you, dream, manifest, shapeshift. My guidance at the moment is learn to hold, you know. And so there's these, I would say that the biggest invitation in a way, and we'll come on to this once we go into the astrology, but it's go for your soul, you know, be your soul, be more than your human self. And the sky and the astrology in lots of ways really supports this. This month is the time to be manifesting. It really is. And however the universe has got you to shut up, stop, listen, stay still, use that time or that space or that stillness to manifest, to start dreaming of what you want next, because in a way we've been through this huge excavation transformation process through March till now. And in a way it's been quite a fiery process. And when you do a fire ceremony, what you have to do at the end of the fire ceremony is tell the fire what to turn everything you've just let go into. And so there is this requirement with transformation to instruct and to manifest. And my suggestion, and what I'm doing for myself personally, is to live as much instruction and manifestation as I possibly can from a soul point of view. So I'm trying my hardest to be like, does my soul want to do this? Is this the thing my soul is wanting to manifest, or is this the thing my ego is wanting to manifest? And I'm trying to actually notice in manifestation whether I'm coming through my ego or coming through my soul, because the soul is the one that can work with these energies, that can bring it through, that can bring it in, that can make the miracles of the new earth happen. And so the thing I'll share, there's two really amazing things I want to share that have come out of my body love course that is live at the moment, but I'll share the other one at the end, because I think it's really helpful, and it's about how to hold new levels of energy and power. But the first is in today's session, which I did earlier today. The guides were just they were saying, connect to a vision, something you want to manifest, and then make it more beautiful, and then make it more beautiful, and then make it more beautiful, and see if you can kind of upgrade your imagination version of the dream. And as you're making it more and more beautiful, what happens is you start to love it, and you start to feel it in your heart, and you start to transcend all of those fears and those limitations, until this thing that you're dreaming of is really inside of your heart. And, you know, the soul's choice, the soul's reason is its beauty. Because beauty is it's us showing up in our beauty, that are what the stars that are looking down on our hearts are waiting for. Beauty is how the whole universe keeps evolving. And so how can I make it more beautiful? Or my new favorite phrase is changing ASAP to ABAP, as beautiful as possible. Have that as your mantra and play with it. This August, just play with it. How many times can you make the beautiful choice, not the convenient choice, not the choice in a hurry, not the cheap choice, but not the most expensive choice, the beautiful choice? How many times can you make that choice? If you do that alone, you will accelerate yourself so far forward, because when you follow beauty, what you're doing is you're following the north of your soul. You're letting your soul take you to where you want to go. And in a way, we only, you know, at any moment in time, there is only ever one thing that our soul wants to do. Everything else is something that our personality self could do, or that our ego wants to do. But in any moment, there's only one thing that is the thing your soul most wants to do. And how you find that thing is by asking what is the most beautiful. Out of all of this, which one is the most beautiful? Because that is the one your soul wants to do. And that is the way to keep aligning and keep aligning and keep aligning. And really, the more we can align in August, so I feel like August 25 is a greater portal for higher self-embodiment than anything, really. Like the sky is so aligned up for you to shapeshift into your potential, for you to be more of yourself, for you to embody and align. And like, we don't normally have it this auspicious, you know. We don't normally have so much kind of lining up for us in a way that is supportive of that. And let's go into why. So part of the reason I started by talking about all of that, like, most beautiful stuff, is because whatever happens at the start of the month kind of sets the message for the whole month. And what we have at the start of August, what we had on the 1st of August, is Venus, who represents heart and love, square Saturn and Neptune. And Saturn and Neptune, Saturn kind of represents karma, and Neptune represents soul. And in a way, they're both in Aries at the moment. Saturn and Neptune are huge in the astrology that's happening this year. And they really represent the beginning of the soul cycle. And, you know, the heart, so life is a dance between free will and destiny. And we're not meant to only live our destiny. We're meant to be dancing between free will and destiny, because this is a co-creative process. But in a way, this heart versus soul, when I tuned into it as the kind of beginning flag of August, all I heard was, you know, free will or soul's will. Which one are you going to choose? That is the thing. That is the question you're presented with. And, you know, our free will is amazing. It's one, sometimes we do have to pick our own heart, because our heart does know what is right for us, and it gives us our agency and our sovereignty and our humanity. But sometimes we allow our free will to shortchange us, or to, if you're picking free will too often, then you're not submitting to the divine plan, and you couldn't not fulfill your divine plan. And so, like, our ego can also exercise our free will. It's not that I'm telling you not to listen to your heart, because your heart will lead you to your soul. It's that other parts of us are the parts that exercise free will. Our ego, our trauma, all of these parts of us also can use the free will that we have as human beings. And so, and in a way, the invitation of the start of this month is, in a way, it's like, are you going to submit? You're going to submit to your soul. You're going to trust that your soul might know what it's doing at this very sacred juncture. And are you going to follow the signs of trust and have faith and give over? And if you do, then, because Saturn and Neptune are in this new sign of Aries, it's like, if you do, you can shapeshift right now. Like, you can shapeshift your reality yourself. You can turn it around. But it's going to require the folding of parts of your free will, and in a way that there's a theme of that relationship running through the whole of this month. And then on the 6th of August, so it's quite spacious at the beginning of the month. And in a way, whenever the sky is spacious, I'm like, that's because what has spoken just needs to be heard. And that's what needs to happen. And so also I'll say that this, the 1st of August is Lammas. So Lammas is the festival of the harvest. It's when, it's when we reap what we sow. And so the fact this is also happening on Lammas is like, do you want to reap the rewards of your free will choices? Or do you want to reap the rewards of your soul? Do you want your soul's version of abundance, or do you want your ego's version of abundance? Do you want your soul's version of love, or do you want your ego's version of love? And in the age of reflection, which is what we're coming into, manifestation is different. It's like you reap what you sow much quicker. What you set an intention for can come straight back to you really quickly. And so there is this, invitation to sow your soul, so that you can reap the bounty and the beauty and the rewards of your soul's way. And then on the 6th of August, so that's the main kind of question. And then it feels like on the 6th, we start to go into the medicine. And so the first part of the medicine is Mars moves into Libra. And, Mars moving into Libra is going to give you insights into what the eclipse window and the transformation, big bang, breakthrough, completion, coming together of it all. Those insights are going to begin to fizz and shift and stir within you. Mars in Libra, that's the warrior coming to defend the great balance and the fairness. And, collectively, that's brilliant right now. We need the warriors. We need the warrior energy supporting the Libra energy in the world right now. But also, what does that look like in your life? Like, how does the great balance happen? And this is actually so relevant to what I want to share at the end of this, because I've learned today so much about holding, and how holding has to happen in the balance. Otherwise that affects our manifestation. So this is the medicine. Mars moving into Libra, your warrior energy coming in to defend the balance, your masculine energy stepping up as guardianship of the balance and the fairness inside of you in your life, standing for those things. And, it's worth mentioning that this is one of the shifts that is building up into the eclipse. And the last eclipse window, so much of the wound work that was happening in that eclipse window on a collective level point of view was all about starting to heal the militarized masculine. And so this is, that new masculine beginning to step up and step in on, probably we'll see it on the collective level, but it's also on an internal level. And then on August 8th, we're already in it, but August 8th is the Lion's Gate, the peak of the Lion's Gate, which starts at the end of July and goes on till the 12th of August. Lion's Gate tends to be considered the new year, the spiritual new year. So the pyramids in Egypt are built for the Lion's Gate portal. And it's the celebration of being able to see Sirius return after it's been invisible because of the sun. And so it's when Sirius starts to rise in the sky before the sun. And it's like it emerges out of the light of the sun. It's very like phoenix-like. And Sirius is considered our spiritual star. It in a way symbolizes like our higher intelligence, or our higher consciousness. On top of that, the 8 it represents infinity. So you've got this is kind of where your soul's cycle of the year completes and is reborn. And this year, with everything that's going on, especially Saturn and Neptune changing signs and moving into the very beginning of the astrological cycle, this Lion's Gate really is, it's part of the great new beginning that is happening in our consciousness. But it is like a sunrise. And I would say, if you can be in ceremony, preferably somewhere powerful, somewhere sacred, somewhere powerful, even if it's ceremony with yourself. In some ways, I feel like this Lion's Gate is maybe more about listening and witnessing than anything else. And actually, my guides are saying welcoming. Sometimes we don't need elaborate ceremony. Sometimes we need to simply welcome who we're going to be next, welcome the new world, welcome higher frequencies, welcome higher vibration. And it is very relevant because literally the next day, so still in that Lion's Gate energy, we have the Aquarius full moon, which the full moon is always 3 days. And so we have the Aquarius full moon in the Lion's Gate portal. And it's important to understand that, the age of Aquarius is the age that is opposite Leo. So Atlantis was the age of Leo. And we're obviously in the season of Leo. And the Lion's Gate is like the peak of that season. So what we've got in a way is this sense of the Atlantean karmic journey, literally coming into contact with the Aquarian coming. And that south-north node, in a way, the age of Leo is about the individual being celebrated, and the age of Aquarius is about the collective being in celebration with each other. And so this is probably a really powerful time to do any kind of rebirth ceremony, DNA work. The guys were saying DNA work to me, and I was like, how do I put that? Anything that invites your soul code, your DNA to activate, to initiate, to come on. You know, how I'm seeing it when I'm talking about it is it's like the light of that huge journey from the age of Leo finally switches on. The rewiring that we need to do can happen under this moon and Lion's Gate. And the spirit of medicine, Charlico, who is, I never know how to pronounce it, she's the counterpart of Chiron. And her energy is so beautiful. Like, hopefully you can feel it coming into the field. There's this gentleness to her. And to me, her energy is like this very delicate, angelic, pink frequency. And really she brings a neutralization or a distilling just by honoring what is. She's brilliant for closure and completion. And so this is an amazing moon to cleanse. It's around the Lion's Gate is an amazing time to sweat, to do any gentle medicines that are calling you to soften and to become malleable. I would say, like, if anything, the energy of August, every time I tune into it, is like, become like Play-Doh. You know, like ask the divine to reshape you, ask the divine to redesign you. See what happens if you hand over the control to Great Spirit. And that is what I recommend you do. Whatever you do for Lion's Gate, the full moon, before it, however I'd probably, if it was me, sweat on the 7th, go to the land or sacred site on the 8th, and do something that integrates whatever guidance you get on the 9th, because the full moon is also integration, it's also embodiment. So anything that you know, if you're going to do a medicine that helps you to integrate, an integration medicine. And, you know, the Lion's Gate portal every year gives us codes. It gives us soul codes. It gives us light information. It is our soul awakening. And then on the 11th, so we're still in the energy of the Lion's Gate, Mercury goes direct, which is good. Come out of Mercury retrograde. And again, those of you that are regular to Magic Month, you will know that back in March, it was all about Venus and Mercury. You know, the whole eclipse window was about communication and heart, about throat and heart, because separation consciousness exists between our throats and our hearts. It exists in our ability to lie. It doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. It exists in our ability to lie. And so the last eclipse was all about, like, working the throat, really working, like, where we were out of integrity in our truth, where we weren't in full expression, where we needed to up level. And this eclipse is bringing all of that integrity lesson to the heart. And Mercury going direct is going to be a speeding up of that. It's It's going to be like, can you be even more honest? Can you speak even more of your heart into the world? Can you let the beautiful poetry of your heart be the everyday expression of your life? And this goes on. So that move out of the retrograde, which also it affects. Mercury is a messenger, so it affects our ability to travel, our technology. It affects like our ability to be the message, you know. So you should feel some of the like, how can I put it, washing machine energies around that calming down once you get to the 11th of August. And in a way, the fact that Mercury retrograde is happening through the Lion's Gate, it's releasing where you're not hearing the messages from the divine, or where you're not hearing your higher self, or where you're not hearing with clarity your soul. Because very often we don't make our soul choice because we don't know what it is. That's why the beautiful thing is so helpful, because it's a really easy way as a human being to know what your soul choice is. The beautiful choice, the one that's most beautiful, always, you know. And so there'll be the Lion's Gate will be bringing in everything around that, this upgrading of you being a messenger for the divine. And then on August 12th, we have Venus again conjunct with Jupiter in Cancer. And August 12th is the end of the Lion's Gate. Venus conjunct Jupiter in Cancer might be the most beautiful astrology that I can possibly think of. You know, Jupiter in Cancer just expands the mother and the divine feminine and the care and the kindness and the sensitivity. And then you add heart to that, you add Venus and sensuality and sacred heart service to that, and that's Jupiter's going to expand that too. Like that's like us becoming bubbles of love, you know, and kindness and care. It's beautiful, and it's a beautiful end. Really, if you want to see the first 12 days in August, it's a journey towards that. Like everything that gets moved, every ceremony, every healing, every manifestation should be towards that. This marriage of Venus and Jupiter in Cancer, like expanding and doing with so much care, because care is when your potential is there. If there isn't care, your potential isn't there. And so, and whatever's going on, we have the ability to choose care of ourselves and others in that moment. And you will probably notice as I'm speaking, because what happens in Magic Month these days, because we're in the age of reflection, is you'll probably notice that as I'm speaking, there's this frequency or this energy coming through the field that's just so heart, so kind, so sweet. And then again, we're invited just to sit in this. And so just as the question at the beginning of the month was like, are you going to choose your soul? The question in the middle of the month is, are you going to care more? Are you going to care with love? Are you going to truly live the heart? Not in the old sense of your free will that's based in your ego and your, but you know, how the heart and the soul align is when we love what our soul is offering us. And when we experience everything as our soul supporting us and offering to us. And this is when the heart and the soul come together. And there's the 12th of August, there's this another stretch of time where the sky is just like, just be with that. Just see if you can do your potential in your everyday by doing it with care, by loving what the universe is presenting to you, even when your ancestors wouldn't have loved it. And then on August 20th, and I think that's why there's all of this space, because in a way, the Lion's Gate is this huge injection of energy. But to hold is to hold energy and space. That is how we hold love. And so on August 20th, we have what could be called the most beautiful astrology ever. I know I said Venus conjunct with Jupiter was, but so a very famous astrologer called the minor triangle that started. Oh, is it your birthday? Amazing. So a minor triangle began at the end of July, and a very famous astrologer called this triangle, that will go on for about 3 years, the most beautiful astrology of the 21st century. It is the perfect, it's so harmonious, and it's so giving of a new era, because it is a triangle between Uranus and Neptune and Pluto. Pluto's power and death and rebirth. Neptune is soul, and Uranus is breakthroughs. And this triangle, they are only in harmony with each other. So this is you know how my guides described it? They describe it as the sail that catches the winds of change and carries us to the new earth. It's like the sail that carries us into our collective destiny. This triangle, even as I'm speaking about it, it's flooding ourselves, our being, the whole of the planet, with energy that helps us become our higher self, that helps us to ascend. It's perfect. And there are 3 times in the 3 years, one for each year, where this triangle is at, where all 3 planets are at the same degree. And the first time that happens in the first degree, it begins on the 20th of August and goes through until September 14th. So it goes right through into the eclipse window. There is a peak moment, which I'll tell you about, but that is the beginning of when we'll really feel this offering to our consciousness what is needed for not just an awakening or an ascension, but a renaissance, you know, where like it becomes the most beautiful version of itself. Like that's what it is. It's like the blooming. And it's so, you know, we will never live under something like this, that is this most beautiful astrology of the 21st century, coming in 2 weeks' time. Like, we will never have this again. This is our moment. How I see it is, this is our moment to be babes again. You know how babies just are love, and they're not really in the world yet, having to deal with all the things. If they're properly parented, they're like wrapped up and cared for and loved. That's what it is. is like, just be wrapped in what you need to be encoded, you know, so that when you do have to go out and sort the world out, you've got that sense of that holding and support inside of you. That's what the sky is offering to all of humanity and all of the earth and all of the dimensions. And so it's really special, the 20th of August. And then what's amazing is the first thing to happen after the 20th of August is the Regulus gateway. So August 22nd, we have Regulus is one of the 4 royal stars, which, again, if you're regular to Magic Month, you will know I talk about them quite a lot because they are really, really powerful. But this one is so the royal stars are the 4 brightest stars in our sky. And Regulus is all about coming straight from the heart. Is known as the heart of the lion. And it brings success and fortune, and it supercharges our crowns and our hearts, and it's just this wonderful, you know, golden activation of courage and blessing. And that's the first thing that happens under this first degree. So if that triangle couldn't get any better, it just did. You know, like right in the middle of it, at the beginning of it, has now got this like blessing of and you know what the sky's saying? The sky's just a map. The sky's saying if you work with this triangle, you're going to get good fortune and honor and wonderful things. And it's not even going to be the good fortune that your ego thinks is going to be. It's going to be the crown that is open to the divine, and the heart that is alight with purpose. That's what it's going to be, you know, because that's what these times are. They are us becoming enlightened. They are us experiencing the reflection of our own divinity in all things by choosing our soul. And at the same time, it's so beautiful. On the 22nd of August, the sun moves into Virgo. So we have this like moment of like this glorious Leo moment, and the sun moving into Virgo, and Virgo represents humanity. Virgo is the human in the astrological chart. So this Regulus blessing and this triangle is for humanity. That's what the sky say. The sky is helping out the humans, you know, and it's not just for humanity. It's Virgo is really representative of those in service. Like Virgo, more than any other, is about service, you know. It's about the day to day, the making things happen, the organization of being of service, the practicalities of being human, the non-judgmental commitments to each other. And that's what's about to be blessed by the Regulus gateway. And then we also have this at the same time, you know, the sun and the moon are so aligned this month, because this month is a Kundalini tantric awakening. Like the male and the female are happening together. We had it with the full moon, and now we have it with the new moon. So on the 23rd of August, remembering the moon is 3 days long, we also have the new moon in Virgo. And that's also the beginning of it's when we really start to move towards the eclipse window. So this is really where all of that journey from March, your personal healing journey, the collective journey, what's happened on a land level, what's happened in the planetary level, all of it starts to embody. And in a way, how the eclipse went, you know, how the 2 eclipse windows this year are working is they're like magnets, and it's like those magnets start to come together, you know, like the pieces of the puzzle are just going to start to slot in. And so this is an incredible moon to, firstly, I would journal, you know, journal about everything that you have been on since March in particular, since the last eclipse in particular. And then manifest about how it could be more beautiful. If you did it again, how could it be done in a more beautiful, bountiful, wonderful way? The new moon, and this is what's so cool, the new moon falls at 0 degrees of Virgo. And so 0 degrees is like a blank slate. It's like the universe is like, let's rip up that. What do you want to draw next? And because it's Virgo, this is your path, your service. What do you want your service to look like next? What have you learned? How do you want it to be? What do you need next? And, you know, when you consider everything else astrologically, this is this, be with this blank state moment. Listen to it. Maybe invite your soul to paint. You know, maybe invite your soul to show you what it wants next. So powerful. And then what we have on August 24th is the sun, which is truth, squared Uranus, which is breakthroughs. So, you know, things are going to break through. The sun is in Virgo, Uranus is in Gemini. So, you know, there is, if you want that blank slate that you, if you want the picture that you've painted on the blank slate to manifest, you're going to have to break the old picture. You're going to have to give it up. And really, that's what the sky's saying. It's like, can you break through what you're already doing? Can you do something different? And this is why, again, if you keep asking what's the most beautiful choice, you'll be well rehearsed to choose your soul by this point. Because that's what we're going to need to do. And literally next to that, on the 25th, Venus moves into Leo. And so we have this wonderful kind of the heart embodying all of that lion's gate energy and code. And, you know, Leo's the great playful, joyful, light expression that likes attention. Pay attention to your heart. Like, this is when your heart gets the attention it deserves. This is when the hearts light up, so that the stars can see them. And so it's a really beautiful, hopefully you're feeling it. Like, can you feel the energy? There's so much like warm heart Leo energy by this time. And then on August 27th, the end of the month, and you know, this is so significant for the eclipse window to come, but the end of the month is Venus opposite Pluto. So just as we began with the, you know, Venus, the heart squaring Saturn and Neptune, now we've got Venus opposite Pluto. Pluto's power. And so we all know what comes next is the heart manning up to false power, right? Like, that's already starting to happen. But that's what's next. and true power is love, so the heart is going to win. But it's not going to win unless A, we can hold our power, and B, we can shape shift, you know, unless we can be made by the divine will. That's if that's what will happen. If we can be, is our hearts will be able to square up to the shadow of power and face it. And so this is August. What do you think? What are you feeling? Love to hear from you. Yeah, it's great, isn't it? Glad you love it. So I got some, I will share about this care stuff because it's so cool, but just to let you all know. So I think the most important thing, the astrology, that triangle that literally changed the field of Magic Month, as I was talking about it, the peak of it, the most important dates of it, where it's most accurate, is 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of September. It's what September starts with. And David Nicol and I and his lovely wife Kate are committed to doing a prayer once a year where we try to get a prayer keeper in every country in the world. And so we are going for that date this year. We would love you to sign up, to pick a prayer slot, and then to tell everybody you know, especially in other countries, about the prayer, because the more prayer, it doesn't matter if we have more than one prayer keeper, but holding each other in the medicine of the human heart, bringing our hearts together, this is the medicine for these times. It is. And for that to happen under the 1st degree of the best astrology we will ever live in, hopefully with the prayer keeper in every planet, in every country, every planet will go for next year. In every country, once we've achieved every country. You know, to see that under this astrology could be used for anything, right? It's like magical manifesting harmony. But for humans to choose to hold each other beyond borders in a peace ceremony, beyond race, beyond class, beyond all of the things, like that, if that goes into the earth and the collective field and the collective consciousness, we will be helping things shift so much. And honestly, like, held in prayer, if you haven't done it, is it is tangible. You can feel this medicine. And if it goes to every country in the world, then what are the powers that are going to try and separate us going to do? You know, that medicine is there, is in us, is already broken those boundaries and those borders. And so it's the most sacred, beautiful thing. And held in prayer will also amplify your, you know, you activate the miracle body when you hold in this way. And so under the 1st degree peak of the best astrology that we will ever live under, the most beautiful astrology of the 20th century, the peak of it, everybody part of this is going to be in their miracle body. You know, they're going to be amplifying and making the impossible personally and collectively possible. It's so beautiful. And so please sign up. Don't wait. I know it's the age of Aquarius and everybody likes to sign up, but like, please don't. Sign up if you're coming, and tell people about it and bring energy to it and make it happen. Because it's such, and you know, it's in a way the last thing we concede before those magnets come together. So what we put in, you know what I was saying about we have to put in the new, like this is what we can put in as those eclipse magnets come together. Think of everybody you know in every country. Reach out to them, because they will know people in countries that you probably haven't heard of. And it's not, you know, it's not got a charge to it. It hasn't got, it's just tell people about it. They can pray in any way. All religions are welcome. All prayer keepers are welcome. And if you feel resonant with that date, then I also have, if you're in the UK or you want to come to the UK, the Land Tantra that has been supporting everything that I am talking about all summer and has taken me all over to loads of different countries. The climax of it, the finale of it, is also when that prayer is happening in Glastonbury, because it started in Egypt, which is the throat chakra. Glastonbury is the heart chakra, and it's been about healing the collective scar tissue. And so this is the big illumination of the heart wires coming together, the bang moment. So if you want to ceremonially be of service, and whenever we come into service this way, we also become the healing that we're offering, then come. And it's really beautiful. It's going to be really amazing. We're doing all sorts of magical things on Glastonbury. So those are the two main things to tell you about. There are some other nice little things, like Grazia and I are doing the crown chakra workshop in the receptivity series, devotion, and David and I are doing a really cool workshop on the 17th of August that's looking at the birth chart of the new earth. So we're taking the birth date of the new earth, which was the 7/7, and we're actually going to read her chart, which will be incredibly useful in terms of understanding the collective personality, you know, because that, you know, you can read the chart. And so that's super fun. And yeah, otherwise just tell people about the prayer, please. I'm going to be telling people too, but I don't think there is there's these 3 points over 3 years that are probably the best times we could ever be in the miracle body ever. So let's be in the miracle body with everybody, every land. And then finally, I want to share, and please forgive me those of you that have been in body love today, because I'm going to give an overview of what the guides were saying in body love. So sorry if it's repeating for you. But so we're doing beauty in body love at the moment. And beauty is about how you hold. So our rituals of beauty is about how you hold. And there was just the most useful bit of explanation about why we manifest energy leaks, why we manifest losing things, why we manifest, why we don't manifest exquisitely in terms of what we want. And they were saying it's because we don't actually know how to hold. So most of us haven't been taught actually what holding is. And what they were saying is that holding, so in order to hold love, you have to hold space and energy equally. That is how you stay in love in yourself. That is how you hold the energy of love, and that is the energy that will manifest the life you love. But what happens is, because we don't understand how to hold, because we've been taught that holding is contracting. And what contracting is you're holding the energy, but you're not holding the space. And so an example of this is, for example, say you've spent a load of money and you're seeing the energy go down in your bank, that money represents, go down in your bank account, and you contract because you're trying to hold the energy, but you've stopped holding the space. And then what happens when you contract is you start feeling really stressed, and you go up into your head and you activate your cortisol and your adrenaline. And but we can also not hold our energy. So we can also hold the space more than we hold the energy. And so this is when it's when we abandon ourselves. So it's when we do, like, I don't care, when you're like spending loads and you just don't look at your bank account to know how much is in there, and therefore don't know if if you've gone into your overdraft. Very good example of holding the space but not containing the energy. So the energy is just leaking out of the space. And the guides today were like, if you want love, if you want to hold love in your state, you have to hold the space and the energy equally. So you have to be spacious, you have to relax and contain, not relax and just let everything go, let it all be taken, have no boundaries, only holding the space, or not relax and contract and only hold the energy. And they were like, if you do this, if you focus on this and notice this and catch yourself, every time you're contracting or just only being so spacious that there are no boundaries, changing this will transform how much you feel love and give you the energy and the space that you need for the new to come in. Because when we manifest something, what happens is we get given the energy for it. And if we lose the space or the energy, that manifestation can't show up. Or it only shows up distorted, it shows up affected by the space and the energy. Reflection, because we're in the age of reflection. And so, and what the guys were saying is, in a way, it's like feeling hugged. So holding is like being hugged. It's a relaxing around. That's what they kept saying, and they kept giving this visual of like a relaxing around. You need to feel that the relaxing is contained. That's when you're holding the energy and the space, not collapsing into, not contracting, not abandoning, relaxing around. And so if you close your eyes, some people, this visual really helps, of imagining a circle that's kind of hugging you and containing you at your root. Other people, it's almost like simulating the effect of being hugged, and not just quickly, but being hugged and then held, contained. And if you can find the energy mechanic of relaxing around, which should leave you feeling calm, so spacious and energized. If you can find that energy mechanic and practice it as often as possible and become conscious of it, especially, notice when you contract and relax. Notice when you're just space with no boundaries and contained. Call the energy back in, hold it. And the more you can do this, the more easily you will feel love and then start to experience a life that you love. And B, the more you will be developing your stamina to hold more space and more energy, which is what you need for what your soul wants to manifest. Can't do it without more space and more energy. Just, it's impossible. You might be able to manifest a version of it, but you can't manifest the fullness of it, the beautiful life. And so just notice if you can bring yourself into this state of relaxing around. See if you can feel the energetic sensation of that happening in your nervous system, in your emotions, and in your body. Relaxing around. And know that you can do this mechanic whenever. When life gets hard, when life gets good, you can relax around the experience you're having. And it will help you to sustain a higher level of space and energy, which is what you need for your soul to manifest. And so that would be my bit of advice to keep playing with and keep exploring. I really hope that Magic Month has been helpful to you. I invite you to close your eyes and relax around so that you support and energize yourself in this experience right now. Just noticing what has shifted for you because of this webinar. Sending love. And gratitude. Mother Gaia. To all plants. All minerals. All animals and all of humankind. All of fire. All of earth. All of air. All of water. All of love, all of light, all of matter, all of mystery. Our amazing soul star family and spirit guide. Great spirit. All of Pisces and all of Aquarius. To all that is. all of source and all of self. Connecting to what your one takeaway from Magic Month is. I would love to hear what it is you want to share in the chat if you're listening live. Obviously, if Magic Month is helpful to you, please do share it with other people, but more tell them about the prayer. Or do that. And yeah, thank you so much. You are all so wonderful, and I really hope that you have an amazing, magic, wonderful August.